Okay, so for this project, what we're going to be doing is creating a large format Instagram post for a turnabout dance with a beach theme. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go into Photopea, we're going to click New Project, and we're going to create a document that is 1080 by 1350. So you could click Instagram to start, and then just adjust the height to 1350. This is the largest format that Instagram will currently take. It's a 4:5 aspect ratio, and it'll look like this. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the beach ocean waves picture from Pixabay, and we're going to copy it. You could also save it and then import it, or you could go to edit, paste, and you can bring in this picture. Once it's into your image, what we're going to do is take our transform controls, we're going to hold shift, and we're going to resize this so that it takes up the full height of our canvas. And then we're going to position it so that we have sort of an equal distance of where the wave is. This is doesn't have to be super precise, but we do want the image to cover the entire canvas, so we shouldn't have any white slivers creeping through on any of the edges. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this paint splatter image from Pixabay. We're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it into our design. Because one of the challenges with sometimes using photography that you're going to overlay with text is that the colors, are sort of like light with sand, and then you have this white wave and this blue water right here, so it's hard to choose a color. So one thing that you can do is you can put a field of color behind it. So we're going to do that by using this paint splatter. And so we will, let me make sure that I got this correctly, we'll copy the image, we'll go to Photopea, and we will go to edit, and we will go to paste or Control V. That'll give us our splat. Now this is too tall compared to its width, so we're going to use our transform controls, and I'll hover my mouse just outside the bounding box and rotate it. I'm actually going to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, like so. I sort of like the shape this way, maybe not even 100, just make it look like this. And then I'm going to resize it as well. So I'm holding my Alt key so it resizes from the middle out, and that's going to give me a big splat of color that I can use to add some text. I'm going to make it even bigger, like so. And I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm going to click it to commit the change. Now obviously this black doesn't really look that great. We probably want to have some light vivacious colors. So what I'm going to do is create a new layer, and I'm going to use my gradient tool. So remember, the gradient tool will by default work by transitioning from one color to the next. So I'm going to choose like a fun light sky blue somewhere in here on my foreground color, and then I'm going to choose another sky blue that's maybe a little bit more extreme right in here. Oop, that's the wrong thing. Right in here. And then I'm going to drag a line like so to create a linear gradient. And you're probably saying, well, that looks no good. But what we're going to do is we're going to hold the Alt key, or rather right click right here, and we're going to add a clipping mask. On Photoshop, if you hold the Alt key and you click in between those two layers, that's how you can add a clipping mask. And so basically I have clipped the pixels on layer 3 to the pixels on layer 2. That's what a clipping mask does. And then you could play around with your radial gradients a little bit more. So you could see, do you want it more extreme? Do you want it up and down, down to up, left to right? I kind of like it down to up like so. I want it to be a little bit lighter. So you can see you can keep playing with it to get it just right. And I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. And so this is going to be for the turnabout dance. And so let's go ahead and make sure that this element is centered in the document. Notice that with your auto select checked, you can't click on this layer and move it. So make sure you uncheck auto select so that you can position this without accidentally selecting the clipping mask above. All right, I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. So we're going to add some text. We're going to write Turnabout 2020, and then we're also going to finish by using our splatter brushes from the previous class to add some additional accents. We're going to do all those on separate layers. So let me go ahead and grab my type tool right here. I'm going to click one time, and I'm going to write turnabout. Oop, it's loading. Give it a chance to get caught up. All right, I've written the word turnabout right here, and clearly that's too small, but I'm going to check this for now. I will go into my character settings right here, and I'm going to play around with some different font colors. I'll choose white right here. I'm going to choose a font that is more readable. I'm going to keep this fairly straightforward, but you should have some fun with this. If you want to load in a font from DaFont, that's totally fine. I'm going to go Open Sans, not Sans, but Open Sans, and I'm going to go extra bold. So let me go ahead and choose extra bold, and then we're going to go ahead and make this significantly larger. So let's go ahead and I'm going to try like 100 to start. Now notice this is in the wrong spot, so I need to raise this in the stack order like so that I can actually see it. If you make a mistake, you can always make adjustments. That's the beauty of this tool. All right, so turnabout, and then let's go ahead and duplicate this, and I'm going to. And I duplicate it by holding the Alt button and clicking and dragging. I could also right-click on this and choose Duplicate. I'm going to make sure that this says 2020, like so. And I could use my Move tool, Transform controls, to make it even larger. I'm going to hold the Shift key in order to maintain the aspect ratio. I want 2020 to be about as wide as the word turnabout right there. I think that's kind of fun. Go ahead, commit that change, and now I can hold Shift and select both of these and make sure that this is centered in my color splotch, like so. And if I wanted to create some hierarchy here, I could choose a different color. So for example, maybe I want to make 2020 sort of a yellow to go with our school colors, for example. And now, let me undo that, or let me redo that rather, and let me click 2020 right here, hit OK. And then I think I accidentally moved this back down. There we go. And then to finish this up, I'm going to create one new layer. I'm going to choose the yellow that I used on my text right here, and I'm going to grab my brush tool right here. I'll grab my brush panel right here, and I'm going to brush panel right here, and I'm going to use some of those cool, funky brushes that we imported yesterday. So I'm going to click on this fun splatter paint brush. I got it from brusheasy.com, and I imported it by taking the ABR file and going to File, Open. I'm going to lower this to 1000 just so it's not so enormous. And once it catches up, got a lot going on. Well, I'm screen recording and trying to do this at the same time. So I'm going to add a splotch of color in the corner over here. See how that does. Boom. And maybe one down here. And then we'll add one here. And we'll do one. Let me close this so that I can actually see what's going on. One right in here as well. And then I'm going to just grab my eraser tool right here. And notice that I don't really like the harsh edge that came in right here. So I'm just going to erase those harsh edges where I don't like them. So I'm going to get rid of some of that. And I think I have one right there. And all right, I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. If you wanted to, you could spend a little bit more time perhaps adding effects like a little drop shadow on your text element right here just to create a little bit of depth. If I pull this over to the side, you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so let's go ahead and change. I want it coming down from over here. We'll adjust the distance, and there we go. I like the way that looks right about here. All right, and it looks like it did not add it on 2020, so I'm just going to hold the Alt button and drag it up here. So basically just duplicated the effect right there. Ooh, you know what? I don't like the way that this looks. I got this harsh edge right here. So I'll grab my eraser, hit that there, and then soften the edge and hit it here as well. There we go. Okay, so have some fun with this and create sort of this like random but stylistically disordered design, and submit it to Google Classroom. Oh, got another one right here. There we go.